Hi, my loves. This is Isabella Sanfilippo reporting live from WCHS, and you're listening to the I Love You podcast. You were introduced to Becky and Diya in last week's episode, and if you haven't watched it, please go do that. I announced my organization, Operation Positivity, and I'll just give you a brief overview. So basically, the Instagram handle is Operation Peace Tree, and it's just a digital wishing tree, and people can send in submissions for things that they're wishing for or manifesting, and they attach a picture, and they don't have to attach their name, so the wish can be anonymous. And yeah, you can send them through DMs. You can send them to me directly because I put my number in the bio. But we already got some submissions, and I'm very excited about them, and I'm really excited to get some more. But today's episode is student athletes. So we have Becky and Diya, who introduce themselves, and they are both student athletes. They're helping me out in the booth, and they even have their own nickname, which is the cool.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Which
we're
is
just
that
cool.
Yeah, we're just that cool. Like, we are the definition of cool.
Yes, the cool. So you might have guessed it, but today's episode is going to be a little bit different because Becky and Diya will be on air with me. I'm excited. This is our first episode with guests. How are you guys feeling?
I'm very excited.
I cannot wait. This is so much fun.
Okay, so I wanted to talk about the mentality you have to have as an athlete, and more importantly, a student athlete, because it takes like such a different type of person to be able to do all of these things. And I have some questions for you. So first, time management is a huge skill needed for student athletes. How do you guys deal with that?
You want to go, Diya, first?
Okay, sure.
Okay.
So I kind of have like bad time management, which is why this is okay. Like, I'm not productive when it's not nighttime, if that makes sense. Like,
Okay.
I can work fast when it's night because I want to sleep, and so I don't get distracted because I need to get my work done. But I have gymnastics in the evening, and it ends at like 9, so I end up getting like no sleep, and then I sleep after school. So right now I'm basically nocturnal. That's how I'm dealing with it. But I'll try to fix my sleep schedule eventually. I did last year by New Year's because that was like
Yes,
my New
Diya.
Year's proclamation. What's it called?
Resolution.
Proclamation.
We have a history test next period.
Proclamation.
Keeping history on the mind.
That was my New Year's resolution. So, but yeah, right now I don't have that great time management, but it's okay.
Before we continue, I just forgot. We should probably just say what sports we play. So I play field hockey.
I do gymnastics.
I play basketball and tennis.
Yes, sir, Becky.
Yes. Okay, so for me, time management, it was crazy because just last night I had basketball practice late at night, and it's like 40 minutes away. So I had to resort to studying in the car because like we had a history test today, and I just had no other time to do it because I wanted to like go to bed early. I'm not like Diya. I can't function if I don't get to bed by like 10:30. I can't function the next day. So, yeah,
It's tough.
it is.
It is tough.
Yeah, especially like some particular days you'll get like a lot of homework,
Mm-hmm.
and then if I have gymnastics, then it's gonna be very
The
tricky.
worst pairing is when you have like your busiest day and then you get the most homework on that day.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
it's crazy. But thank you for those amazing answers. Next question is, when you have a bad game, how does it affect your day? If you have a bad day, does it affect your playing?
I think for me, I try to not let the two interfere, but it's
Mhm.
hard because like you have to have a good mindset going into either the school day or into a game.
Mm-hmm.
And like I am competitive, so sports like do get to me sometimes, so it's like hard, especially if you don't want to like own up to like making mistakes during a game, or if like the day was bad and you just like let it affect your playing. It's hard.
Yeah, it's kind of very nerve-wracking competing because it's like gymnastics is a very like individual sport, so everybody's watching just you. And I would say like I don't really, whenever it's competition season, I don't really look forward to the weekends, which is kind of sad. Or I I do, but not as much as I do when I don't have competitions, because it's like once I finish that competition, let's say it's like Saturday morning, once I finish it, then I'm done. Then I can like enjoy the weekend, but it's like it's very stressful. And if I like everybody has like a bad meet, like you can't do good every single meet. There's always going to be one that you mess up. So it's kind of hard to like remind myself that I don't suck at gymnastics and I just messed up and it's okay.
I agree. I think that usually a lot of the time athletes kind of like put the blame on themselves if they have a bad game
For
or
sure.
if they have a bad competition, or it's just like not even a bad competition, just like the little mistakes. And then it's like also like the what ifs, and they just kind of eat you alive.
It's so easy to get wrapped up on the one mistake you made. Like even if you made 10 shots or like, whatever. It's so easy to focus on the negatives.
And then it's like, if I made that shot, would we have won?
Yeah, it's like it's so much.
Yeah, like if I'm on beam and if I fall, it's like the rest of the routine, it's hard not to think about that fall and like continue and still do my best because I'm like thinking about that one mistake that I made.
I also think that kind of like when I have bad days, like there's a difference I feel like between like sad days and then like angry days. But like if I had like an angry day, I like to like kind of take that aggression or like that emotion and like out on the field and like kind of be able to like tap into it to give me the extra boost or something like that. So I don't know, I think that just might be a unique perspective on how your day can affect your playing.
Yeah, I feel like if I had like a bad week in gymnastics, or not like a bad week, but like not up to where I want it to be, like my training, I usually try harder for competitions, but also because I'm like more nervous, so I think about it a lot, and then I feel like I try harder because I have to like in my mind I'm like I have to compensate for like the week. So
I kind of feel that way. Like if I do bad on a test one day, it's like, well, I want to do good on something today. So let's do good at this tennis match or whatever.
Okay. So this kind of goes with it, but how do you channel your emotions through sports? Or can you channel your emotions through sports? Is it some sort of outlet for you?
I think it definitely is for me. Like, if I'm happy, like, so it just kind of like you can see it in my playing. Like I'm more focused, but even if I make a bad shot or a bad hit or whatever, if I'm like in a better mood, then it doesn't matter quite as much. And then like if I'm in a bad mood, it's also kind of a good way to focus. Like I don't know, just like helps me channel. I don't know, something.
I feel like I get a lot of adrenaline when I'm competing, but it depends on the event. For beam, I'm actually good at beam, but I don't like to count on it. Like I pretend, like whenever I calculate my score, I pretend that I do really bad on beam because if I put too much pressure on myself, it's not going to go well. But I feel like for like basically all the other events, floor bars and vault, I get excited before I compete, and then I get actually not bars. I don't like bars. Okay, we're just gonna stick with floor and vault. Because especially floor, because you have like music and like a whole routine, so that is my favorite event, and that's fun to compete. So I guess it depends for me.
Yeah. Okay, next question. How do sports affect your mental health? And this can be positive or negative.
I think for me it's mostly a positive effect because number one, I'm just getting exercise but in like a fun outlet because I don't always want to run or like do this or that, but sports, like it's a good way, and I have fun. Like I really enjoy the sports I play, so I think it's helpful for me to like just kind of work through things by playing a game or like doing practice and stuff like that.
For me, I feel like it really depends on the week because I have a very love-hate relationship with gymnastics. It's probably because I really want to be good at what I'm doing. So if I'm not getting a skill as fast as I wanted to, or like I just sprained my ankle and then going back to practice, it's like it's hard to do some stuff again because it like hurts a little bit, and it's like frustrating because I want it to heal faster.
Mhm.
But overall, I think actually I don't even know what effect it has. It's like I feel like I don't know what I would do if I didn't do gymnastics. Like I've been doing it since I was 5. It's like part of who I am, and at the end of the day, I do like the sport. Like I love gymnastics, and I always have like those practices, every once in a while where I'm like, you know what, I get why I chose this sport. Like it's a good sport. Like this is fun. Like this is cool what I'm able to do. So.
I agree, and kind of piggybacking off what you said, student athletes usually we're prone to injuries, so we have to really make sure that we're taking care of our body and we're getting as much water as we need, as much sleep as we need. And it's just totally. Like on top of like managing your time, you need to make sure that you're treating your body well. And I feel like a lot of times, like our bodies are neglected because we're just going, and then we're more susceptible to injuries, which is like so tough. And then we're also susceptible to mental injuries because if you have that bad game, if you have that bad practice, I feel like I always just like carry the weight with me.
Definitely.
Yeah, kind of like for the rest of the night, and even like before my next practice, I'm always like why am I not like good at gymnastics? Like I could and then sometimes I compare myself to like other people on the team, which is probably not good, but I'm like, if they could do it, why can't I do it,
Comparison kills.
Comparison
will kill you.
Hard. Because you have to remember, like, as much as you put in the work, they might have just done it for longer, or they could have more of like a natural ability to do things. So you have to it's just hard not to compare yourself to the other athletes on your team.
Like sometimes things just come naturally to some people, and like for me, bars never came naturally. Bars is my weakest event. I probably should have more skills, but I don't, and I do train really hard. It's just like it doesn't come easy for me, but I am really good at floor and vault because I don't know, it's just always been like a lot easier for me, so I feel like everybody has their strong points.
I think at that point too, like you also kind of have to step back and realize I do have this really good skill. Like within all of my playing, I can do this really well. And because of that skill, you might be the same person that someone else is kind of looking up to. Like if you have a role model, you might be a role model for like a younger girl. And I feel like it's a beautiful thing that sports provides. It provides role models and people to look up to.
Yeah, I love thinking of it like that.
Yeah,
I forgot to mention before, but I also play golf. But just like on the comparison thing, I just want to mention I play with my dad a lot, and he's like an amazing golfer. And I like keep comparing myself to like how he's swinging. I'm like, he's been playing for all his life, and I just like it's hard not to like get caught up in comparisons. But
I agree. We're kind of running out of time, and I wanted to keep this short. But part 2?
Yes, Izzy.
Okay, I'd love to have a part 2 and have you guys on again because this was so much fun for me.
Yeah, it was
I
fun
loved
for me
it.
too.
Thank you so much for letting us do this. This is so much fun.
Of course, anytime. I'm your host, Isabella Sanfilippo.
I'm Diya.
I'm Becky.
And thank you for listening to the I Love You podcast. Okay, guys, ready? On 3.
What are we doing?
I love you.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
1, 2, 3.
I love you.
And one foggy Christmas Eve, so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? Sure.